Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
These are some of the things that we did on the weekend. What do we got here, Clark? Yeah. That was on Friday. Justin Dunk, Darren DuPont, and yours truly went to TacoTime, where I was running the first of a multi-day stretch at TacoTime.
I saw.
Brand new sponsor of the RP show, and he had the taco salad. You had the, you guys ate
Crisp meat burrito.
Just one? Yeah, I went far deeper than you guys did.
I know.
And so that was TacoTime. Yep. That is Saturday night, God's team. I followed the team onto the ice, don't you know? I assume you watched my social media.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped at the ice. I followed them right up to the ice. I really love me some Regina Pats hockey, God's team. What else do we? That was Saturday night. This is viewer submitted. Roxanne from Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. Roxanne is one of our sponsors, obviously. She's the Rocks in Rockstar. This was from Friday night's game in Edmonton, Saskatchewan Roughriders. What else you guys got there? Oh, this is producer Clark. This was on the fantasy baseball broadcast that they launched on Friday night. Clark was looking sharp there. $170,000 raised, Clark tells me. Was that all for charity? Right, I didn't think so. Clark was at the Saddle Dome. I see they got him great tickets at the Saddle Dome there. How's the nosebleed, Clark? Did it stop bleeding yet? The air was a little... I've sat up there. Dome beers.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Monday Night Football. It is the Chicago Bears, as I mentioned, at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are favored by 7. It's not about who wins tonight. It's about by how much do the Pittsburgh Steelers win. The Chicago Bears are hot garbage. I'm shocked that they still have a head coach. And I think if he hadn't gone into COVID protocol last week, Moose, they'd have fired him.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Well, that's a first. Way to go, Paul. 20 seconds ago, I just screamed 15. Oh, my God, we're on the air. I don't have my earpiece in. I don't have my comments up. Oh, what a day.
Oh, good one, Rod.
Not really, Rick Regan. Oh, well, let me get these comments. I want to know what people are saying out there.
Oh, man, Paul.
Yeah, Paul was distracting us.
Who we haven't talked about a lot lately because he hasn't been around. He's been busy doing Paul things.
Yeah.
Spent the last 20 minutes on the couch.
Lot, Paul.
And then all of a sudden.
It's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, why is that intro rolling?
Our show's on.
You're on the air, dummy. Don't. What is the website for the text line?
I'll get that.
You got it saved here?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
Just
boy.
go to your history and...
This is the warm-up proudly presented by Ecole Electric. I think proudly presented by Ecole Electric. How do you like us so far? We're both wearing red today. I see you got the memo. You're
I did.
Texting somebody? Can I get you to put your phone away? Look at me. I don't really care. Do what you want to do. Just stay off my ass when I'm on my... Not you. Everybody. If you want to know what's going on and join the discussion, you can text us 902-518-3033. Did you get a jingle done yet for that?
I know.
902-518-3033. Sounds like a carpet commercial.
It does. It does, doesn't it? 2-300 Empire.
Oh boy, they're complaining about officiating already. Oh, man, were you reading my diary? Because it's in the quick six. Coming up on the program today, Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames. He's the host of Flames broadcasts. And Claire Hanna, our good and longtime friend. You know her, you love her, from CTV, TSN. She just left the Sweatpants capital for Ottawa, the nation's capital. From the Sweatpants capital to the nation's capital. And you see they're having a massive COVID outbreak with the Senators. You see they canceled practice yesterday. The coach and players are in protocol. We're going to get the bottom of that with Claire. So that's coming up on the program today. And I think without further ado, let's hit the Quick Six show topic horn. Thank you, Jordan, who it's his birthday today.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jordan. Do we know how old? Do we have a photo of him?
Oh, no.
He's 26. He just told me in my ear. Really? Plenty of time to screw up your life, Jordan. Don't worry.
Bingo.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Point number one, I wanted to start with hockey, and that looked like I was going to start with hockey, and then Monday Night Football took over. It was a thriller last night. Did you watch it on TSN and ESPN? Of course you did. Chris Boswell hit a 40-yard field goal with 30 seconds left to help Pittsburgh to a 29-27 win over the Chicago Bears. Pat Freiermuth had 2 touchdown catches for the Steelers. The Bears attempted a 65-yard field goal on the final play, but the ball was well short of the uprights. Look, we're going to get to hockey right away, but we got to talk about the football game. It was 14-0 at one time when I switched over from the game I was actually watching, the Panthers and the Rangers. I'm like, oh, this is going to be nothing. They're going to cover the 7-point spread that we talked about. Remember, we took that deal.
Yeah.
No, the Bears come back and didn't win the game, but they beat the spread. They made it a game. They scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. And all the talk was of the linebacker, Cassius Marsh, who bumped the referee, got called for taunting. You saw the whole story there.
Oh, yeah.
And what did you think about the penalty for Cassius Marsh? He bumped the the taunting penalty was he went over to the opposition bench sidelines and sort of flag come, and then he bumped the ref on his way back to his own sideline, and it extended a drive. Really hurt his team.
It really hurt the team. And the Bears coaches knew that he made the mistake. They were chewing him out on the sidelines. Yep. But I still didn't like the call. And I'm the one who understands why taunting is there and how it can be applied and how it can't. And it is very confusing because it feels subjective as to when you call it, when you don't. You know, he walked to the sideline, and he wasn't really close enough to the sideline that it was going to cause anything, wasn't going to lead to anything. He just kind of looked at him after making a play. And he was pumped after making the play, which I'm okay with. To the sideline, to the crowd, it's when you stand over a player and flex on him, or you spike a ball on a player, or you get in a guy's face after you've made a play, that whole kicking somebody when they're down. That's the taunting that needs to be called. But when you do it to the crowd, or you do it just off to the field on your own and you celebrate a touchdown or you celebrate a sack, that's not taunting to the world. It's when you do it right in the opposition's face after you've sacked them.
Well, but right? How come you get to decide what's taunting and what isn't? That's the point.
Yeah, but I think that's how it's written.
Sure. I get it. I'm just saying it's a gray area. It's always going to be a gray area. And so Jennifer from the Four Seasons writes in, she says, officiating was a little biased, in my opinion, from the general in Calgary. Ref was at fault, and I'm just so done with the officiating discussion. I feel like nobody really cares until it's my team that gets screwed. Then I want to talk about officiating.
Oh, yeah.
But everybody else's games, I don't care about the Steelers and the Bears. Are you kidding me? And you want to talk about whether or not the Bears linebacker, Cassius Marsh, he said after the game he got hip checked by the ref. You older, smarter people like me that are sitting there nodding your head right now, you're going to nod your head and go, Rod's right. Yeah. What are you even doing in the vicinity of the referee? Let's just act like there's a 5-foot halo around the referee and don't even go near him. How about that? Because I didn't think the ref intentionally stuck his ass out to hit Marsh on his way by. Did you?
What referee is going to say, hey, that 270-pound linebacker, let's just get in the way of him?
But that's what the players said after the game is what happened. And there are people that are backing him. So anyways, stay the hell away from referees. How about that? Why are we even having this discussion today? And then the taunting call, same thing. I mean, while you watched Get Up this morning, I asked you if you did on ESPN, and Swagoo, Marcus Spears said, well, what he did talking at the bench, that's football. Yeah, well, maybe football needs to change. And I'm here for that discussion. I'm here for the hockey discussion, by the way, in hockey culture. Like, I realize I grew up in it. I realize I'm a big part of it. But I'm also open enough to say maybe that's wrong. I'm used to the bullying. I'm used to the cowering. I did not feel like I was going to go down this road today. But there was a player who came back to me several years after he played on a team that I was on. He was hazed, and he told me, Rod, that incident broke me. And it did. I was at the front of the bus when it happened. I didn't do anything. Our coach was an upstanding gentleman. He didn't do anything. So I'm not going to say the team. I'm not going to say the player, but it was wrong. So I stood around. This guy went on to broken families, broken life. He's just now getting his act together a long time later. So that's not exactly what we're getting into with Cassius Marsh, but my point is that's what these rules are for. They're trying to change the game. To say, well, that's hockey. Put up with it. That's football. Maybe that's wrong. Enough on that?
No, I'm
sorry to go on a life lesson.
It's a great discussion to have because
so early on.
That whole issue of like, hey, but that's hockey. Well, yeah, but does it have to be?
That's my point.
Yeah.
From my cousin Christine, she's watching in Medicine Hat. She says, "Good morning, sports fans. Happy birthday, Chris. We love you." From all of the Pedersen clan. I bet you she didn't expect that. How about that?
How about that?
Now to hockey. Alex Ovechkin scored his 741st career goal to tie Brett Hull for 4th on the NHL's all-time list and helped the Washington Capitals beat the Buffalo Sabres 5-3 on Monday night. At age 36, Ovechkin is on pace to pass third place Yami Yager's 766 goals before the end of the season. Wayne Gretzky holds the all-time record with 894 goals, followed by Gordon Howe with 801, and they spelt Gretzky wrong in the wire copy. What should happen to that person? Am I a bully for saying they should be publicly flogged for spelling Gretzky wrong?
Yes.
That's
Gretzky.
Right.
If there's one name you shouldn't spell wrong ever, it's Wayne Gretzky.
They should at least be disciplined in some fashion.
Yes.
Igor Shesterkin made a season-high 42 saves to help New York hold off the Florida Panthers 4-3, which saw its first loss in regulation this season. The Panthers, A2 lost their reign and scored 20 seconds into the third for Florida. Sam Reinhart made it 4-2 at 18:34 of the third before Patrick Holmquist scored at 19:20 of the third to make it a one-goal game. The Panthers entered the game 10-0-1. Their only blemish, a shootout loss at Boston on October 30th. They were coming off a 5-2 win over previously unbeaten Carolina. And, I watched the game. It was not, obviously, you saw Ron Duguay and I build it up yesterday. Duguay called a one-goal game for the Rays. He said 3-2. He couldn't have been more wrong. It was 4-3. And the Panthers were out shooting the Rangers 2-1 in the game. But I watched it, and they weren't good shots. They weren't good scoring chances. You know what? It was a stinker. Throw it away. You just hope this isn't a sign of things to come for the Florida Panthers without Joel Quenneville. It's 11-11, by the way.
Wow.
Ding. You had a point.
It was 1-1, or 1-0, sorry, for the Rangers. Yeah. And was Fox's goal shorthanded, the second goal?
I think it was, yeah.
On that bad turnover? Like, it just seemed like the Panthers weren't mentally in it. You know, when you're on the power play
I know.
and you're making a sloppy play like that, and even up the boards, like they're shoveling it along the boards, just little half plays, completely leaving their goaltender out to dry. But that happens. You know, you just come off the big win against Carolina. You're playing well. You got the point streak going. Eventually, you get a little complacent. And when you've got Igor Shesterkin in goal for New York, who's a very good goaltender, one of the best, I think, one of the best in the NHL now, you've always got a chance. You have to bear down and beat every team in the National Hockey League. So I think they took the night off.
Got to bear down every night. Like I said, I hope this isn't a sign of things to come. From John in Winnipeg. John, he says the Monday Night Football game was awesome last night. John, you're 10 minutes late on that one. Coffee started at 11 Central. Jonathan Quick made 33 saves Monday as the Los Angeles Kings defeated the sluggish Maple Leafs 5-1 to snap Toronto's 5-game win streak. I see you were watching the Florida-New York game. Obviously, I got you hyped for that. And then you went to a movie, so you didn't even watch the Leafs.
That's right.
Okay, when we're moving on. Forward Jack Eichel said Monday he's relieved the blockbuster trade that sent him from the Buffalo Sabres to the Vegas Golden Knights is behind him. And he's looking forward to being on the ice with his new team, even though it may take 3 months. Eichel will have his preferred choice of surgery for his neck injury this Friday and is thankful the Golden Knights have been supportive of the procedure he feuded with the Sabres over, triggering discontent with the organization. You saw him show up last night, I assume you did, or yesterday in Las Vegas. They had dancing girls, unicorns, midgets. He rolled up. It's Vegas.
He rolled up in the limo, right?
Yeah.
They had the door for him, and you can't fake real emotions. Right?
You can't.
It's really difficult. You can't do it. And he walked out of that car and was genuinely, I think he was surprised. And the excitement, it was like a kid at Disneyland for the first time. You couldn't wipe the smile off his face. You just hope that can turn into something really great.
You don't get that in Buffalo.
No.
Carlos is watching in Indianapolis, and he says, how about that poll question? And it goes back to point one that I'm sorry I skipped over. There was other NFL notes beside Monday Night Football. Odell Beckham Jr. is officially free of the Cleveland Browns. They've got all the contractual stuff out of the way, and he's free to sign with whomever he wants, I believe, as of today. And so the poll question, we kicked this around for all of, 27 seconds?
Yeah.
What is the best landing spot for OBJ? And this morning on ESPN, their options, which is what I went with here today, are the Rams, Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots, or other. And we're asking who. 34% of you are going with other. They had Rams, Chiefs, Packers, Patriots, and I dropped the Packers and put who. So we can kick that around throughout the morning, by the way. Thanks for the reminder, Carlos and Indy. We don't need him in Dallas because we have the number one offense in the National Football League. So I don't really care. You?
We don't need him in Tennessee. With A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, I don't think there's a fit or the money. I went off the board. I thought that the Saints could use him. Now, they don't have Jameis Winston and his big arm, but they don't have Michael Thomas either. So all of a sudden, a deep play threat to complement that great defense in New Orleans, I think, makes them a contender or elevates their status a little bit. But the Patriots is interesting because Clark came on a pre-show meeting. It's like, do you think that's a Bill Belichick move to get a guy like OBJ? Do you think they want that in their locker room? I said, well, there's a track record, right? They had Josh Gordon. They had OBJ. They had Randy Moss. They had Ocho Cinco. Right? Bill Belichick is not shy away from these personalities to have on the team.
No, not at all.
They don't always work out and last. I mean, Randy Moss did, but the others really didn't. So I could see the Patriots taking a run at it. And we also heard the Seahawks pop up, and Russell Wilson would love to have him. So
As a matter of fact, what I heard was all but 3 teams have interest. All but 3.
Wow.
And they were, I think, the Bucs, the Cowboys, and potentially the Titans.
Makes sense.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
We're going to pause, and when we come back, we're only two topics for the Quick Six show topics, by the way. So when we come back, we'll get into CFL. Bob Irving announcing this will be his last season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. This will be the last season. It'll be announced tomorrow. What movie? Slapshot. Oh. Bob Irving memories. CJOB called me and had me on today and said, Rod, what are your best Bob Irving memories? I got quite a few. We're going to talk about good old Knuckles, where he got that nickname, if you don't know. The XFL's hiring some big-name executives. What does that mean? We'll talk a little CFL and tonight's featured game. It's Happy Jets game day, Winnipeg. Big Central Division collision coming your way tonight at Canada Life Place. We'll preview that as well. On the way, Ryan Leslie and Claire Hanna. You're watching Canada's daytime sports talk show. It's the RP Show on Game Plus Television Network, YouTube, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. There's a lot of people that are writing in that are getting annoying to me right now, and I'm just going to ignore them. You know what I'm saying?
Good idea.
Handle it with grace, as those Instagram memes say that I read so much. We're just jumping right back into the deep end here. The quick 6 show topics. We're only 2 topics in. So this morning, CJOB Winnipeg, Manitoba's information superstation, announced, and actually I think Knuckles did himself here, Bob Irving, the longtime voice, the Hall of Fame voice, the iconic voice of not just the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but I would say he's the conscience of the Canadian Football League. Bob Irving, when this Grey Cup's played, when this Bomber season is over, it'll be his last. And I can tell you that this is going over, everybody's pouring in with emotions, comments all across Manitoba, all across the CFL. I had CJOB call me for my best Bob Irving memories this morning. That's airing on CJOB. So here are mine. Many 20 seasons voice of the Rough Riders here, and he's like 48, 49 years as the voice of the Blue Bombers, like as long as I've been alive. Think about that. Mm-hmm. He's from Lestock, Saskatchewan. But you wouldn't know. Bob's like completely turned his back on Saskatchewan.
He's Mr. Manitoba.
He doesn't mind that I say that. Lestock, Saskatchewan. Look it up. And also, the day before every Labor Day game or Banjo Bowl, Knuckles and I would lean against the stands in the old stadiums or the new stadiums. But the old stadiums, we would argue over whose stadium was worse. I would go, Taylor Field's the biggest dump in the CFL, Bob. No, Rod. It's Canadian Stadium. It's the worst. There's no hot water there. It's the ceiling's falling down. And I'm like, well, look, I'll go show you ours, Bob. we would argue about which had the worst stadium. And then we build these splashy Tajas Mahal, IG Field in Winnipeg, and Mosaic Stadium here. Then we're like, our stadium's the best, Bob. Ours is the best. Look, it's more beautiful. It's newer. It's got these modern... No, Rod. No, IG Field's the best. And we would laugh, of course, and argue over all that stuff. There's that. But probably the one that I remember the most was terrible. It was 2009 Grey Cup, 13th man in Calgary, McMahon Stadium. Riders just blew the Grey Cup on the last play of the game on their own penalty. We all know the story. We're walking out of the press box. I am literally in a state of trauma. I'm in shock. Bob puts his arm around me and goes, terrible for the Rough Riders, great for the CFL. And I'm, what? And his son was there, Reed. Reed will back me up on this. How is that great for the CFL? Took me a few days, weeks, months, or maybe years to realize he's probably right. And then when I left the Rough Riders, Bob called within 24 hours. We had a great talk. He knew the circumstances. It was awesome. Had his support, and he's just a class guy. Bob Knuckles Irving. This will be his last season as voice of the Blue Bombers. CJOB told me that they were the ceremony honoring Bob will be the West Final because that's their next home game. And he's just deadly. He's a guy that doesn't have an enemy. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Bob Irving. You know, I don't know how you do that. Clearly, I have no idea. But he's a good friend of mine. An icon, always looked up to him. So anyways, that's my take on Bob Irving.
You were going to say how he got the name Knuckles.
Because he was a white knuckle flyer. It wasn't because he was scrapping in the alley or outside the stadium. He was a white knuckle to this day, I think. Knuckles, white knuckles on the seats flying.
The airlines.
Flying. So he always looked forward to the Labor Day Classic because he could drive.
I get it.
Across the prairies.
Yeah.
The most exciting drive on the globe. Winnipeg to Regina and back.
Well, he wants to go out on top. The Bombers have never been this good, this consistently, this dominant in my memory, at least recently. I'm trying to think of how far back you'd have to go, but yeah, it's been a great run. And clearly the people in Winnipeg love him and they respect him across the country.
Respect is, honestly, man, icon doesn't cover it. What's bigger than an icon? Because that's what Bob would be. That's how I feel about the guy. I'm just checking all the comments from the viewers here. Brooke, I always say Brooke Henderson. It's B. Henderson.
Right.
It might be Brooke Henderson. Says Canada Stadium didn't have AstroTurf, just concrete painted green. now we're in an argument over what's worse, and I'll say ours was worse. From the Puck and Pigskin podcast in Calgary. I just had that conversation with Jed Roberts yesterday. Jed said Taylor Field was horrible. No hot water, tiny crappy towels, no heat in the fall, no AC in the summer. Ours is worse. Like every game I would roll in there to call a game, there'd be a dead pigeon on my desk, a mouse crap all over the place. Because anybody cleaning this? It was such a dump. It was a prison. The press box was a prison. Are we moving on?
Sure.
Sprinkling in a few comments here from Kenny Gill, writing us at 902-518-3033. Hello, Rod and Darren. Kenny Gill listening in Scranton, Pennsylvania. 15 degrees Celsius here, getting pumped for CFL this weekend. We were going to say what the Canada's Game of the Week was. We're going to have that poll, but we're going to save it to tomorrow. We've got the OBJ poll up today. What is the best landing spot for Odell Beckham Jr.? We got the Rams, Patriots, Chiefs, or other. Brady, very interesting. Brady, writing in from the Bridge City. Hey, Rod, on this date 2 years ago, the last segment of Coach's Corner with Don Cherry and Ron MacLean aired after 37 years in Canada. Are we going down that road?
How about that?
I was doing a dinner that night. I've told it before. I'll say it again. In Paradise Hill, Saskatchewan. I think that was the night with Brian and Daryl Sutter, Buddy Benz Miller, the Chuck Wagon racing legend, and Rachel Homan. I came back to my room, saw this in the hotel, saw this furor going on Twitter about what Don Cherry had said about you people. Oh, yeah, now I get it. Now I see why it's the anniversary. Around Remembrance Day, right?
Right.
And I looked up the clip, and I just said, he's done. I don't like it, but he's done. Right? Mm-hmm. It's too bad. And the thing is, Grapes, from the Saturday to the Monday seemed like 6 months long. The furor that was going back and forth. Will they keep him? Will they not? Did he do something wrong? Did he not? And I guess it was on the Monday. Grapes got asked to come in, or was asked to come in and apologize for what he said on the air about you people. And he's like, nope. Toodaloo. Talk about probably the best way for Grapes to go out. Right?
Yeah.
But not the best way. CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, should be ashamed of themselves, and Rogers for the way that, because we've had Don Cherry on the air. He got choked up. I was just talking about this the other day. When they go on the air, you don't see Blue jumping up, barking like the intro. There's nothing. There's no memory of Don Cherry anywhere with Hockey Night in Canada or anywhere around that facility in downtown Toronto, and that's disgraceful. But that's broadcasting in 2021.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
it's classless.
Yeah. I agree with you, knowing that in that moment you kind of knew he was done and that it was not appropriate. And you know what? If he apologizes and explains what he meant, he's fine, But not apologizing and not being remorseful or whatever, different story. But, I mean, it doesn't take away what he's meant to the game at all.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't take away what he's meant to the game, what he still means to the game, what he brought to the game. He was responsible for a lot of the growth in this game and for making kids everywhere fall in love with hockey and treat the game with respect. I'll always remember that, yeah.
Well, they're saying the suits to the game, while Don Cherry would not say it's because of him. Now they're saying that the kids, you see it in Pee Wee, you see it in Adam, kids wearing suits to the game, at least a shirt at a time, maybe not a shirt or something. And they're saying, it's because of Don Cherry and respect for the game. And that's what this world is really missing, is respect. And my only thing, by the way, with the Cherry thing, I didn't want to see him get fired, obviously, clearly. But my thing is, why are you just going after immigrants for not wearing poppies? What about all the people that were born and raised here that don't wear poppies? It's not just new Canadians.
No.
You know what I mean? I didn't understand that. But Grapes made a career of not caring for the immigration policy of Canada, right? So, remember when he went to the Olympics? You probably don't. You were 11 in 98 in Nagano. He's with Ron MacLean. Do you remember this, standing by the ring?
No, but I can imagine.
Well, Grapes, we're here at the Olympics. Your thoughts on on these Japanese Olympics? Well, you know what I don't like, Ron? Over here in Japan, too many foreigners. I don't think you could say that.
No, different world in 98. No social media in 98.
The guys, he's not with us anymore, but one of our staffers here had when all that Cherry stuff went down 2 years ago, he said, I looked up some Cherry videos on YouTube. My God, the stuff he used to do, like the early 90s with the Kelly Rudy, the blue chiffon.
Oh, yes, the visor
How
talk.
He hadn't been canceled before that. Minor miracle.
No cell phones, no social media, no camera phones, no PVR, right?
Yeah. Oh, we got a break. Clark's telling us to break. We'll be right back with Ryan Leslie. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Prairie Mobile is your SaskTel authorized dealer. Whether you're looking for talk, text, or data, shared, unlimited, or business plans, Prairie Mobile will help you find the SaskTel wireless plan that's right for you. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Jumping right into the fire here, we are going out on the video chat. We appreciate Ryan Leslie joining us from Sportsnet Flames. It's an off day for them, but they're meeting the media today. Les, it's been far too long. Your Flames, second place in that Pacific Division, man. How's times in Cowtown?
It's good. Not an off day, Roddy. They've got the San Jose Sharks here. That's why I've kind of had to change things up. So I apologize. It is game day and the availability is on the move. But this team is rolling right now, and they're doing it the right way. If anybody's had a chance to see the games, it's like, wow, this is surprisingly good. It's one thing to kind of eke out wins. It's one thing to kind of steal wins. But they're going about it in a way, for the most part, that I think coaches, hockey purists, I think fans have been entertained with the way they're going about it. They're winning close games. They're getting leads. And I don't know if anybody saw this coming, so it's been a pleasant start.
Yes, I see that. I don't know how I skimmed over that. That is one of 10 games tonight. Sharks at Flames, which I believe will be their first meeting of the year. What's the storylines going into this game? What are you going to be looking for tonight?
Well, the San Jose Sharks are decimated with the COVID and the COVID protocol. And 7 regulars are out of their lineup, but yet they've been getting it done and playing some pretty good hockey. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on here with some availability about to happen. But so interestingly enough, behind the bench, because the staff have been hit by it, coaching staff as well. So the Sharks are going to have like Mike Ricci behind the bench. They're going to have John MacLean. They're going to have Nabokov is the goalie coach right now. So this is wild. So John MacLean will be behind the bench. John Madden. Mike Ricci. It's fascinating, but they're getting it done with a lot of determination. A year ago, this may have not happened for the San Jose Sharks, but they're hanging around after getting off to a pretty good start. So for Calgary, though, I think they want to keep this momentum going. Rod, this is the last home game before they head on a 7-game Eastern road swing. You'll recall they were already out on the road in the East for a good chunk to start the season. That really galvanized this group, and it really brought them to a place where they felt, all right, let's get to know each other, let's play well, let's play for one another, and they're kind of itching to get going. So you don't want to look past this game at all before you head out for a 7-game roadie. So they're happy with the way they played on Saturday night against the Rangers. They won 6-0. You had fantastic goaltending. You had the Tkachuk between the legs goal. Johnny Gaudreau is absolutely buzzing. This team is kind of hitting on all cylinders right now. And I say it's kind of a surprise because anybody who's followed the Flames in the last couple of decades has known that they have not gotten out to great starts to begin a season. So everybody will take this and roll with it.
Be honest, Ryan, do you need to go? Be honest. I see people flying by. Do you have to go immediately?
I'll let you know when I do, Roddy. I love being with you.
Okay, well, I love having you with me, man. I also know that you would delay it if you had to stay on this show. So you just drop the phone and go when you have to. Hey, it's the same team, though, largely from last year. So I want to know what, for the most part. So what has changed?
Well, they lost their captain. That was significant. So that's a big part of not only losing a certain identity but gaining a new one. And there are new faces. The core is somewhat the same in that you still have your Tkachuks and your Lindholm and your Gaudreaus and Monahan. But Monahan's in a different role right now, and certain guys are sort of. They needed to have bounce backs, if you will, and they needed to take steps forward. I can't say enough about the way Johnny Gaudreau was playing and a two-way game as well. Mathew Tkachuk found his game, and they continue to roll. And Elias Lindholm has just been he and Andrew Mangiapane at one point were league leaders in goals. So, there have been guys who've taken steps. There's been guys who are really kind of fine. And the new faces, I don't know if I saw Eric Gudbranson playing this well and being such a leader for this team as well. I don't know if I saw, the way that certain new guys have come on. And I think the big thing is Jacob Markstrom, 4 shutouts in 9 starts. So you got a good goalie and you've got complete buy-in and 4 lines rolling. It doesn't matter who it is, you're a tough team to beat.
Hockey Night in Canada. Mathew Tkachuk was on Hockey Night in Canada either after the game or between periods. They asked him about the Eichel speculation. I don't know if you saw his answer, but he rolled his eyes. He's like, I wasn't paying any attention to it. Just from watching him, I don't know him. I'm not the biggest fan of Mathew Tkachuk, but you always seem to have been. Tell me why.
Why what? Why he wasn't surprised? Or?
No, why you have been such a Tkachuk fan when there are so many that aren't.
Oh, my gosh. I'm surprised you don't love him, Roddy. You're like... a watered-down working man's version of Mathew Tkachuk in the media.
Right. Why you might as well say neutered? Say neutered. I'm a neutered version of Mathew Tkachuk.
Yeah, exactly. He's right up your alley, but you can't because you've got your Edmonton Oilers pom-poms on all the time, so you can't even remotely look this way. But I get it. He's got his detractors, but he's certainly got his fans in any market he plays in, and the league talks about him, and he plays the role well. So I got to run. I apologize.
Okay, buddy. Appreciate the time. This was great. All right, buddy. Same to you. Good here. He's here for a good time, not a long time. Are you guys writing that down? Oiler pom-poms. Right. Well, if the Flames start treating me as well as the Edmonton Oilers, maybe we'll have a discussion. But I get it. I get it with Mathew Tkachuk. He's one of those guys. Hey, Calgary's got 2 of them, Bo Levi Mitchell and Mathew Tkachuk. Would we not say that's the similarity there? So that's a pretty good preview there for the Flames and the Sharks tonight. And I skimmed over it here. I got 10 games written down. I got it right in front of me. San Jose at Calgary, Oilers at Detroit, which since he had to go, and we've got TacoTime viewer takeover coming up, let's do the sports update right now. Here's what's going on tonight. The struggling Montreal Canadiens host the surging LA Kings. The Kings won their 5th straight last night with a 5-1 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Montreal's lost 4 of its last 5. They are dead last in the Eastern Conference. And can you believe, last Wednesday, when we did our season debut of the top 5, bottom 5. I had Montreal in the bottom 5. They were the only fan base that grumbled, or they were the only people that disagreed with my bottom 5 that Montreal was even in it. And now they're dead last in the East. The Oilers look to continue their franchise best start when they visit the Detroit Red Wings. They are 9-1 so far. They enter tonight's action a point ahead of rival Calgary for top spot in the West. And as you just saw, the Flames are home to the San Jose Sharks. How exciting is this? The two teams atop that Pacific Division are the Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames. Wow. How about that Central Division? The Winnipeg Jets continue a 6-game homestand tonight as they welcome the St. Louis Blues to Canada Life Centre. The Jets are 2-1 so far on this homestand, coming off a 2-0 loss to the Islanders on Saturday. In other games, Ottawa visits Boston and Vancouver welcomes Anaheim. And we'll be going to Ottawa next hour. Claire Hanna will join us to talk about all things Senators. So they've had their COVID issues too. And maybe a little Red Blacks as well. Pittsburgh Penguins have settled a U.S. federal lawsuit filed by a former minor league assistant and his wife. Jared and Aaron Scaldi accused the team of negligently retaining a coach who allegedly sexually assaulted and harassed Aaron, and then retaliating against Jared for reporting the incident. Lawyers for the couple announced the settlement in a news release. Terms were not disclosed. The struggling Milwaukee Bucks look to end a miserable stretch when they visit the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. The defending NBA champion Bucks have lost 5 of their last 6 games and are 4-6 to start the season. Also tonight, Utah hosts Atlanta. The Clippers entertain Portland. Raptors are off. My mind is echoing now. Can you tell me, should I even try with this Calgary thing? We're previewing the game. We're getting along, and then he comes out with your Oiler pom-poms. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. And you know, we've discussed this on the show before. They say time heals all wounds. And that's wrong. People heal wounds, not time. It takes people. And it takes two sides. I'm sitting here trying, for God's sakes, with Calgary. Now, I don't think they're picking it up. I don't think they're picking up what I'm putting down. Tacona Powley, watching Winnipeg, says, Rod, where are those pom-poms Ryan speaks of? I know, right? Where are they? Cheer for a team and people get all butthurt about it. This sports update brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. Book your group or business Christmas party now for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, where you'll never need to ask to have the CFL games put on. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Taco Time viewer takeover is next, and I have a feeling it's going to get spicy. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces in 31 states. Live on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpeterson.com/listenlive.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feel in the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me, 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 give me.
FanDuel.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It is TacoTime Viewer Takeover. And I got something here from TacoTime. Every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday for only $2 each. Do you order hard or soft shell tacos? Beef or veggie? Very easy for me. Hard shell, beef. Next question.
That?
Yes.
Spicy.
Next question. Feel like Rick Regan and I are fighting for airtime. Viewer takeover, as I mentioned. And I don't know what it is. You can write us here. I would suggest this is the best way to do it. 902-518-3033. We're getting more texts on this than the old text line. How about that? I don't know why. Mike writing from Edmonton. Good morning, Rod and Moose. I stumbled upon your show on Game Plus TV in March of this year, and about 9 months into my sobriety, not knowing who you were. I can happily say I'm still sober to this day. Thank you for sharing your story, Rod. You're a true inspiration for me. Hashtag one day at a time. Thank you, Mike. And by the way, I suppose you can follow my recovery career, certified recovery coach here, interventionist at Pedersen Recovery. And I put up a comment about that today, one day at a time. Thank you, Mike, for sharing, and thanks for the support. Allie in Edmonton writes in, and she says, morning RP show. I had to try the new text line and include a pic of Duke from Friday's game. We were second row from the field. Beautiful November evening for CFL football. Have a great day. Were you able to get that, Clark? Do you want to air it or not? You don't? Okay. He says he hadn't got it yet. Randy from the Peg writes that. And by the way, we've got a ton of texts from Winnipeg, and there's so many I can't get to them all. And I apologize for those that we can't get to. Randy from the Peg. Don Cherry was the only reason I watched intermission. Agree or not with him, it was entertaining. The intermission on Sportsnet sucks now. I don't watch them anymore. Again, that's how and why the broadcasting business has changed. I don't know who's making these programming decisions. I really have no idea. I don't watch the intermissions anymore either, but it gives you the opportunity to flip around to other games, gives you the opportunity to go to the bathroom, it gives you the opportunity to go to the fridge, whatever, check your phone. But I was the guy. setting my VCR for 6:45 every Saturday night, 6:45 p.m. My VCR to tape Don Cherry's Coach's Corner because I didn't want to miss it. But that's just not the way the business is anymore. What are you going to do? Grapes made his money. He's fine. The way he was treated on the way out the door, inexcusable, but he's not the only one. Again, that's the way sports and broadcasting is now. Wayne in Victoria, BC. Rod, as you know, I've been watching since day one. I just want to say I like how you have evolved the show and like how your text line works now. Keep up the great work. Yeah, that's on Moose. He came up with this new text line idea, and it's good. Oh, and it's another birthday. Not just my cousin Christine, not just Jordan, our director, but Donald Mitchell. You remember me, I've always referenced our Navy friend, Don. He says, only 60 years young today. You're as old as you think you are. Oh, he's a very fit 60 years old, our Navy friend, Don, out in Ottawa.
Right on.
Right? What else do we have here? Let's see what the peasants on the YouTube feed are saying that don't want to text in. I'm teasing, of course. From Jeffrey in Calgary, Stamps fan. Gives you the opportunity to get some taco time. Exactly. I remember going to college in Calgary, Mount Royal. There was a taco time right down on Electric Avenue. Do you guys remember? And my roommate was a bouncer in a bar called the Shark Club on Electric Avenue. And every weekend night he would come home all cut up and beat up, and he was a bouncer there. Hey, we're going to carry this over into hour two. Last minute of play in hour one. Last minute. From Big Fan 2019 on YouTube, he's written this question in a couple of times. And I don't have time, obviously, here, but I will answer it. Good. Thanks for putting it up, guys. Do you think the CFL can survive after this season, Rod? Attendance hasn't been great across the league. TV viewership also hasn't been great, and fans are just not into it anymore, it seems like. We are going to talk about that next with the Moose. And JD Sonic says, there's no way the Bombers don't win the Grey Cup. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Bob Irving. We'll talk about tonight's NHL games. All of that. Shoot us a message again, 902-518-3033. The brand new text line. We'll be back after this break on Game Plus Television.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery. with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Monday Night Football. It is the Chicago Bears, as I mentioned, at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are favored by 7. It's not about who wins tonight. It's about by how much do the Pittsburgh Steelers win. The Chicago Bears are hot garbage. I'm shocked that they still have a head coach. And I think if he hadn't gone into COVID protocol last week, Moose, they'd have fired him.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome inside the bunker, everybody. We are broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. And we're both wearing red today, and I guess that's just tells you how in sync we are, Moose, because we never planned it.
No, never.
Although, if you notice, watch this, okay? When you're watching those panels on television, I don't care the network, I don't care the sport. Might not even need to be sport, could be the news. They're always coordinated. Usually his ties matching her dress. Have you ever noticed that?
No, they have wardrobe people that are very in tune, and they've trained for this type of thing. You and I just do it naturally.
We just do it naturally, exactly. On the same page. A lot of folks checking in from Winnipeg today. They're very excited about their Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are playing this week at Montreal, back end of a home and home. We're going to get to some CFL talk, some NHL talk here. We literally didn't even get through all the Quick Six show topics. I feel like people are in a pretty good mood today, a little punchy. There's one thing that I want to say here. Damn the Jets fans watching from Winnipeg on YouTube, and he says, is that Calgary red? And I don't know if you were watching the interview with Ryan Leslie. Like, I'm almost at the end of my rope here because we're talking about the Flames and la-di-da, and then he goes, well, I don't know why you would care, Rod. You got your Oiler pom-poms out. And I don't get it. The thing with Ryan Leslie, it's a little different than the really angry Calgary people. He's just doing it to needle me. But it's like, what's it going to take to get over this hump? What's it going to take?
I don't know.
I think it's on them. I think the ball is in their court at this point.
Like if we packed up and moved to Calgary,
which I'm willing to do.
Would that change? Or would they still not accept it? I'm not sure.
From the Puck and Pigskin podcast in Calgary says Rod and Dupes both sporting their Flames colors on game day. It's cool. It's fine. So why can't we get over it?
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is this. When I criticize the Flames, they know I'm right. And they don't like it.
I see it.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
And whereas with the Oilers, when I criticize them, They know I'm right, too, but they don't get mad.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's the difference in the mentality between the two cities.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. Like in Edmonton, they're a largely optimistic city about their team. In Calgary, they're a largely pessimistic city about their team. That's just the truth. It's a different mindset. That's my take on that. But I hope we can get over it. I love Calgary. Big Fan 2019 watching on YouTube has had a couple good comments. He says, Rod, you can live next to Bo Levi Mitchell in Calgary. Could you imagine? Ooh. That'd be fun block parties, wouldn't it?
Would it? It would be a case of I'll throw my dog's crap on your lawn and you'll throw it over the fence.
We're throwing it back and forth.
I'm going to borrow your lawnmower and I'm not going to see it for 6 years.
Hey, Bo, I'm going to borrow your lawnmower and give your puppy a haircut.
Just fun.
But big fan. Okay, well, here we go. Northside YEG says, that's the biggest difference between the cities, man. Edmonton's just different. Good people up here. It's good people in Calgary, too. I'm saying how they relate to their hockey team is different. They're different. They're both, people are good everywhere. Let's make that clear. Yeah, here we go. It's. I didn't mean to start this in the comment section. My cousin Christine says Calgary fans are whiners.
Spicy.
Don't want to do this. Not now, not ever. But Big Fan 2019 said, Rod, do you think the CFL can survive past past this year? And I think that you, Darren, would agree with me. And we spend a lot of time talking about this. We see things that others don't see.
That's right.
I was thinking this actually on the show. People think they see 5% of me. What's on television every day. There's 95% of me, of the people that I talk to, the things that I do, that you have no idea. That's just the way it is. I think it's that way with all public people, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
That's not to say that what you see isn't what you get. There's a lot more to me than what you see on television every day. But anyways, as far as the CFL goes, I have discerned that the CFL will survive. And there was a comment, I don't know if you guys will be able to dig it up. It was from Darren Workman in Salt Lake City last hour, and he nailed it. He said the CFL will survive, but unfortunately they're going to be stuck in the same rut. There it is. The CFL will survive, but will not get out of the rut it has put itself in. That's the thing. It's like, oh, they're not going to like this, but this is what popped into my mind. It's on life support. So it's like, okay, we can feed it forever and keep it on life support, but it's just going to be in this state. You're never going to be able to interact with it or love it again, but at least it's alive. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what I see with the CFL right now. I'm sorry. Just because there's so much stuff, again, that you don't see. You're seeing the games on television every week, and it's a major triumph to even have the games played and be on television. But it is the skeleton staff thing. The players have taken the pay cuts. I mean, you've all forgot about that, but the players haven't. All the staff's working more with less. And they will get through. They're going to get through. They're going to survive. If they can survive COVID, there ain't literally nothing going to kill the CFL. I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
But what's left? I mean, this single game betting thing that they thought was going to be make them all rich again has not panned out, which I told you wouldn't. And I see in the column that's running at rodpedersen.com right now from Brendan McGuire, throwing elbows with Brendan McGuire. He talked about junior hockey attendance and CFL and this. And what did I say? I said, people are going to get used to staying home. There's going to be I said there's going to be a cash crunch. And literally those marketing people that I talk to every day, they're like, no, Rod, you don't know. Nope. People are going to be dying to get out of the house. They'll be dying to come to the games. Theaters too. Well, that didn't happen. So I'm just over the argument. I'm over, frankly, talking about it. They'll survive, but I don't see a huge desire to change in any regard. And that is the frustrating thing to me.
It's changing and it's adapting, and it's just, self-awareness as to what you are and the climate that you're in.
Yeah.
and you can't control that. That's all things that are out of the CFL's control. But you can control how you navigate it, all of a sudden, the conditions change and who you are and what you're able to accomplish changes, right? And I mean, this little guy here has made the world so small, and there's no borders anymore. The borders are almost gone in terms of Canada, U.S., North America, South America, Europe, all of it. The world is so small. When I open this up, I mean, there's no difference. There's no saying, oh, you're in Regina, so we're going to make sure you have this Regina info first. No, my NFL stuff or my NHL stuff or my business stuff pops up. There's no, it's what I follow. So the CFL, as I've said this before, is competing on a daily basis with the NHL, the NFL, the NBA, MLB, junior hockey, everything else for your attention. When there was more protected television rights and less social media and less digital media available, you could control what was available in Canada. And primarily it was the CFL and it was the NHL and it was TSN. Now you have ways to watch ESPN, which the CRTC doesn't want you to do, but there's still ways to do it. Right? The world is so small that you're competing at that level, and you might have to understand that, we aren't going to be the top pro league in the country anymore because the NFL is a bigger league in Canada, and the NHL is, and the MLB is. Doesn't mean it can't be fun, entertaining, exciting, make a little bit of money, but you have to readjust your expectations.
So that's the long-winded to, will the CFL survive past this year? I think the answer is yes. I do believe that. To the text line, 902-518-3033. Do you want to look into what it would cost to pay for a jingle? Or could we just go hire somebody?
What do you think I was doing in that last interview?
How much is it?
Well, I've put out 4 feelers to mix of male and female voices and finding out if they can do jingles for the phone number. So
518-3033. Cindy Girl in Pittsburgh says she loves my voice.
I like it.
Brian Goldstrom texts in on that number. He says, I'm watching from the Red Deer Hospital. COVID-19 is kicking my butt. Brian, you, sir, keep up the fight. You, sir, are a winner. You know how many people that I know that have recovered from COVID that were hospitalized? I could name them. I need to add you to that list, Brian, in Red Deer Hospital. So you check in with us every day and tell us how you're doing. That will be your job, okay? Texting this line every day, tell us how you're doing in Red Deer Hospital until you get out. Got it?
I like it.
Ray in the 6 clearly wasn't watching an hour ago, but that's okay. He has texted us at 902-518-3033. Hey, Rod, is it me or is the NFL officiating been off a bit this year? Some questionable calls. Didn't like the taunting call on Marsh. Have a good day, Ray. In the 6, Kitchener, Ontario area. I'd rather talk about that than COVID or vaccinations.
Me too.
But it's a close call. I'm so tired of talking about officiating. What?
I know.
Well, it's just, again, Ray, do you have the ability to rewind? Are you PVRing this? Because, as I said, unless it's my team, I don't care. I'm over it. I'm over an offside on a goal, costing a goal, because the guy's skate blade hovered over the blue line. Like, give me a break. Come on. It's dumb. And I can't remember who I was talking to the other day. One of the games, I think it was an NHL scout, he's like, you need to get over it because it's here to stay. And I'm like, obviously it's here to stay, but can we not tweak it a little bit? Because it's ridiculous. Is it ruining sport? I feel in a way it's ruining the enjoyment of the sport.
Yeah. The sport, at the heart of what this, the spirit of sport is supposed to be me against you playing a game. And then it got not so fair because you're bigger than I am and you just threw me in the snowbank and went and scored goals. So we had to bring in a referee to say, let's just make sure it's fair. But the nitpicking of this and that and the nitpicking is just takes away from the spirit of the game. And
it's the spirit of the thing, Reg.
I don't have time for that. I really, really don't.
Troy Calmer's watching in Toronto. my good friend Troy, who, although I've never personally met him, and that will happen, I've got to know him through this show, and he writes in, says people should watch the Recovery Hour and see the other side of Rod, not the showbiz Rod, the yin and yang of Rod, so to speak. I like the talk show Rod, but love the off-screen Rod. I'm biased. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate it. And I was wearing the bunny hug you sent me last night. It's very warm and cozy now that it's getting minus. But not for long.
I know.
Thanks again, Troy. Sober Athletic Wear, by the way, is his company. Sober Athletic Wear. Look it up and order it. Anyways, we might as well go down that road because Ray in the 6 wasn't watching an hour ago. And because it's a big enough topic today, I'll talk about it. Taunting. Who gets to decide what's taunting and what isn't? I haven't looked in the rule book. It sounds like you have. You've read the rule?
I'd have to go back and just make sure I have it right. I don't want to commit to like knowing the, but I will. I'll have this here in like a minute.
Well, maybe we could do this certainly in the next segment, but you got to be smarter. If you're Cassius Marsh, the guy Cassius Marsh was on the practice roster last week. He didn't play for the Bears. So he gets into this game, he makes a big stop, and he walks over to the Steelers sideline and starts yapping at him. While that is a very ticky-tack, to use a football term, penalty, what are you doing in the fourth quarter in that important spot of the game going over there and doing that? Now, the football guys, like this morning, Marcus Spears on Get Up, Swagoo, says, that's football. Well, maybe it shouldn't be football. Maybe things need to change. No, I don't like the taunting penalty at all. When you do make a big play, I think you should be able to do whatever the hell you want. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But the rules there, they obviously put it in for a reason. They're not stupid why they put it in. But it takes away from the entertainment of the game, obviously. But that extended a Steelers drive, right? And led to, I believe, the winning field goal on that drive. So smarten up. The rule is in there, taunting, so make your play and go back to the sideline. You know what? There's a lot of guys that do it, by the way. You have to restrain yourself from swinging in football. You have to restrain yourself from going offside. Why can't you restrain yourself from mouthing off? So it's on Cassius Marsh, in my opinion, not the rule book, not the referee. And with regards to Marsh saying that the referee reached out and hip-checked him on his way off the field, that's wrong too, which I discussed an hour ago. You can stay away from the ref. Don't even make physically. So don't even, you should be 6 feet apart, shouldn't you?
Probably.
I said 5 last hour, but I'm like, why are we even talking about who hit who, the ref or the player? Do you realize how stupid that is? Yeah. Say it out loud. Get the hell away from the ref. God. You've looked it up?
Yeah. The NFL's criteria for taunting. The use of baiting or taunting acts or words that engender ill will between teams.
Say it again.
The use of baiting or taunting acts the use of baiting or taunting acts or words that engender ill will between teams. So did this create ill will between the teams when he's looking at the sidelines? He's far enough away that it doesn't in that situation, I don't think. But that's a little bit subjective, right?
Chris in King City, Ontario says, taunting is when you get caught trash talking. No, he just read it. It's if you wave the ball in somebody's face, you spike the ball in somebody's face. You don't even need to say anything, and you can get called for taunting. And again, there is a subconscious in you. The refs have told me you might be a fan of the Seahawks and you're reffing that game on Sunday. That is a fact. Or me sitting at home. When Jeff Heck did this at Duron Carter, I threw my popcorn at the TV just because it was Duron, but that's me. We still have those subconscious thoughts.
There's a difference,
right?
too.
We need a break.
Celebrating and taunting.
We need a break.
There's a difference.
Small difference.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. On the way, Claire Hanna from TSN Ottawa. You're watching the Rod Pedersen Show on Game Plus Television, live streaming on YouTube daily and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Capital is Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalgmc.ca to see how we roll and to learn what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's exactly what you'll get when you choose Capital GMC, Regina's trusted GMC Buick Cadillac dealership.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
And Moose DuPont. And this is the best, the absolute best. Days like this, Moose, where we just get off topic, go down a fun road that wasn't planned. It's just like it's the television version of off-roading in my Jeep Big Bird.
Yep.
And those are just so much fun. By the way, from the Beneath Sports podcast in Toronto, writes in, says, thoughts on the Bears linebacker Cassius Marsh getting hip checked by the ref in yesterday's NFL game? Should I cover it for a third time?
Oh, boy.
Get away from the ref. Those are my thoughts. He deserved what he got. A sports update. Cleveland Browns running back Nick Chubb is being placed on the COVID-19 list after testing positive and could miss this week's game at New England. One of the NFL's best backs, Chubb is going on the list along with rookie running back Demetric Felton, according to the Associated Press. Doctors are clearing Seattle quarterback Russell Wilson to return to football activities. He needed surgery to repair the middle finger on his throwing hand after a Week 5 injury. Seahawks 1-2 without Russell. Toronto left-hander Robbie Ray is a finalist for the American League Cy Young Award. Teammates Vladimir Guerrero and Marcus Semien are finalists for the AL MVP Award. They're, of course, up against the Angels' two-way star Shohei Ohtani. Pittsburgh Penguins have settled a federal lawsuit filed by a former minor league assistant coach and his wife who accused the team of negligently retaining a coach who sexually assaulted and harassed her and then retaliated against him for reporting the incident. Lawyers for Jared and Aaron Scaldi announced the settlement in a news release this morning. Terms of the settlement were not disclosed. NHL tonight, 10 games, including the Kings at the Habs, Sens at the Bruins, Florida Panthers, America's team, at New Jersey. That should be a shabackling, I would think, for the Panthers. Oilers at Detroit. The Blues at Winnipeg in a classic Central Division collision. Flames home to the San Jose Sharks, and Anaheim's at Vancouver. A lot of Canadian teams in action tonight. Everybody but your Leafs.
Yep.
The sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca, and for G2G protein bars. So we got into the discussion of taunting and what's allowed and what isn't. And JD Sonic, I like this. JD, watching on YouTube, says 5 Stampeders receivers holding out their hands and mimicking the pouring of drinks from a champagne bottle and stumbling around as if drunk touchdown celebrations I recall as funny. Yes, it's funny. The guys jumping in the boat in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
The 4 or 5 Hamilton Tiger Cats that jumped in the boat in the back of the end zone. Or those Stampeders receivers that did all the bobsled thing. Or the line dancing.
The bicycle.
Now, you said earlier that there's a difference between celebrating and taunting.
Yes.
I don't see a huge difference, but the floor is yours, son.
Well,
you tell me how you think that is a thing.
I mean, anybody can come up with an idea on how this is wrong if they want to, but when you're getting in the boat after a touchdown, you're celebrating your touchdown without rubbing it in the other team's face. I mean, if they're sitting there watching you and they're forced to watch you celebrate, yeah, of course, that's a little bit of rubbing in there, but you're not doing it to their face, right? You're celebrating with your team in front of the fans, and that's fun, right? When you're doing it to the other team, spiking the ball in your face, look at the Nate Davis squatting over him, the quarterback, pretending to pee on him like a dog, right? That's taunting. It's right in his face. There's a difference between kicking somebody when they're down and just celebrating. When I talk about post-game trash talk, you can come here after the game and celebrate your team. Tell me how good your team was. Tell me how great Russell Wilson played or Derrick Henry. That's cool, celebrating post-game. But don't come in and say, your team sucked, we beat, to rub it in your face. Celebrate, don't taunt, don't be disrespectful.
Right, but who gets to draw the line?
Fortunately, the refs. That's what they're getting paid for.
Or whoever makes the rules.
Yeah.
I remember early 2000s, the Rough Rider players, the receivers, did a Rodney King touchdown celebration, and we're like, but it was important to them. Who gets to draw the line?
Mm-hmm.
What's important and what's not?
Well, and what the refs do, that it says, to elicit this, what do they call it? The ill will towards the other team in the rule. So the ref has to decide in the moment, is this something that's going to potentially spark violence in the game or get this out of hand? If they're doing it in their face, what do football players or, macho athletes, men or women, want to do? Get back in your face and, don't rub that in my face, and then they rub it back in your face. And then you get out of hand and you create all this extra fighting. But if I'm just celebrating over there, that's not going to start a fight. I think that's kind of the idea. If you're just celebrating, it's different than...
Well, it's funny you say the ref needs to decide, because last night with Cassius Marsh, that ref, it was literally like slow-mo. He's digging into his pocket like this and pulled it out just as, bang, Marsh hits him on the way by.
Yeah.
He was giving him the penalty anyways already. You could tell that he was thinking, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that's hilarious. All these folks writing in, what about Terrell Owens spiking the ball on the Dallas Star? Well, clearly, what can I say without being canceled? Yeah, I thought he should have been flogged.
That's disrespectful. Because you look at the Star.
But it's not hurting anybody, Darren.
Not hurting anybody, but that star represents the team. So
I'm fully aware. It's my team.
That's literally like taking that football and rubbing it in Jerry Jones's face by doing it.
But there was no taunting penalty at the time.
No, and there should have been. Celebrations that cross the line. When it might have been Terrell Owens against Baltimore when did he do the Ray Lewis Eagle dance?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's a celebration not in his face, but it's taunting him, mocking him. So you have to be aware, and it's a fine line. Yeah. But most of the stuff, flexing, spiking a football after you have to let players do that.
That's what people love about sports talk, the endless debate. Frankly, I'm kind of over it. Who's writing? Odell Beckham Jr. has not signed with anybody yet. Somebody wrote in and like he had, and he's not. The poll question is, what's the best landing spot for Odell Beckham Jr.? Because his divorce from the Cleveland Browns becomes final today. His Divorce. Do you know that song? Becomes final today. Tammy Wynette.
Oh.
What's the best landing spot for OBJ? At press time, which is right now, 32% of you saying the New England Patriots. The best landing spot for Odell Beckham Jr. He's going somewhere.
Could you imagine if he was in New England's lineup this weekend against Cleveland?
Why not? That would be great.
That would be awesome.
People are writing in like crazy with their favorite touchdown celebrations CFL-wise. And again, JD Sonic says, but a CFL player spitting on a player and he gets a fine? Undisclosed amount? Yeah, that happened in the Edmonton game. And from the Beneath Sports podcast, which I think is in Toronto, says, with the dark cloud over the Las Vegas Raiders, how do you change the culture within that locker room? You don't do it this year. You don't. You're just holding it together with spit and elastic bands and probably waiting until the offseason and you're getting rid of everybody. I don't think you got to sell the team necessarily. These owners have a very slick way of saying, I had no idea that John Gruden was this type of guy. He's only been over at my house several times. They're always bragging him. John Gruden has supper at my house every Saturday. I had no idea he was a racist. Right?
Right.
And look at the Blackhawks, and their owners are all getting away with it. That's why these people are, some of you people are really annoying me today. Like Big Fan 2019. Never heard of Tammy Wynette. Sorry, Rod, is she from the 1800s? It's like the general in Calgary saying he's never heard of Bob Irving, who announced this is his last season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers after close to 50 years. You know what? Have a little class and respect. Just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean they don't matter. Maybe it's a reflection of you. Not so much Tammy Wynette, but Bob Irving? You call yourself a CFL fan and you don't know who Bob Irving is? Maybe you should check yourself, bruh. And on a second thought, Tammy Wynette, too. From the Puck and Pigskin podcast.
I'd be playing
What?
Mark Chestnut.
Going
through the big D.
Going to be in Dallas. From Jack Fulton, watching in Vulcan, Alberta, says, Rod, speaking of country music, I'm going to see the king of country in Vegas. That would be George Strait.
LFG.
My close personal friend. Met him once. We're tight. From Ryan McCarthy in Saratoga, New York. I'm going to go off board and say OBJ signs with the Steelers. They need a second target with Juju Smith-Schuster out for the rest of the season. Northside YEG in Edmonton. Great conversation. Terrell Owens celebrating a touchdown by running to midfield and standing over the Dallas Cowboys star was absolutely hilarious. Now somebody has to do that in Calgary after a touchdown. Well, I think the fact that there's a Ryder Looney buried under the turf at midfield at McMahon Stadium is enough. You don't need to go run out there and celebrate. We got that Looney there every day because the guy that is the maintenance guy at the place is from Sasky. Did you know that?
You had mentioned that once before, and I still can't believe it. That's unreal.
True that. JD Sonic says, oh my God, Bob Irving is an amazing man. Yes, he is. Football in Winnipeg will never be the same again. After Bob Irving announced this morning that he's hanging it up after this season. A move that had been rumored for quite some time. Like in CFL circles, there's always, this is going to be Knuckles last year. This is going to be Knuckles last year. I would say that's been going on for the last 5 to 10 years. And today it happened. Right? And I don't know what Knuckles is going to do. Jeffrey Townend, one of 2 Stamps fans named Jeff that watches this show. Unless that is Jeff, the Stamps fan, now that I think about it. Because one's on Facebook, one's on YouTube, but we've never seen the two of them in the same room at the same time.
How about that?
Reveal yourself.
Reveal yourself! Jeff says to the guy in Edmonton, you better make it a good one. Edmonton doesn't get many opportunities to celebrate touchdowns at McMahon. Only 4 in this year's Labor Day Classic, brother. Did we forget about those?
That does sound a lot like Jeff.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it not?
Short memory.
Woo!
One more from Jason and Red Deer. He says, I heard a nasty rumor that somebody went and dug up that loony at McMahon, Rod. Not sure if it's true, though. OMG. Of course, I could see John Huffnagel and his cronies out there with a metal detector in the middle of the night. Beep, beep, beep. Trying to find that loony.
and the your maintenance guy is sitting back there being like, I take it out every night. Put it in at the beginning of the game.
Exactly. I can see it. Can somebody do a cartoon with the headphones on? Huff. Beep, 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 beep.
He plants dimes and nickels all over the place. Just
like
to
a
get
birthday cake.
like a birthday cake.
Look at that. You coming back for TacoTime viewer takeover in overtime?
Yeah. And
what do you got? What are you looking
at? He confirmed.
It is Jeff. Yeah, I got it. I can smell a lie like a fart in the car. Serious. We'll be back with Claire Hanna. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
I started the Chatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. On this, Tuesday, November the 9th, it's Canada's daytime sports talk show emanating from the bunker here in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. And I was told that we had Claire ready to go, and then just as we went on, I was told we don't. So you can text us here on the text line 902-518-3033. Brand new on Monday. Brand new text line. You can write us here. Thanks. Scott in St. Albert, Alberta writes in and says, Rod, that texter was taunting you with his Tammy Wynette comment. Throw the flag. They're all taunting me today. But Claire's not. As we go to the nation's capital, and I wrote her on social media. I don't know if she saw it. It was a blur, it seems, since she moved from the sweatpants capital to the nation's capital, and she's a busy gal. Claire, welcome to the program again. How are you?
I'm awesome, Rod. Am I still a friend of the show?
Oh, of course. Well, you tell me. I feel like you are. But
of course I am. No, I love being referenced in that way, and it's been a while since we've chatted. And I'm like literally moving into my new place. There's my crutch from my ACL surgery. And so it's a bit of a disaster zone in my life right now. But I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, I appreciate you fitting us in because from outside appearances, it looks like a blur. And you're confirming it has, in fact, been a blur. And you are
such a blur.
You were in front of the rink. Was it with Bruce Garriock talking about the Senators the other day? I mean, listen, you were thrown right into the fire. So let's start with the Senators and the COVID situation and what is going on. Are they going to play tonight at Boston?
Well, they are going to play. It's funny. I actually just messaged I don't know if it's breaking news, but from what I understand, they're going to play. And I asked at what certain threshold they would possibly postpone the game. You know, if there's 20 guys who test positive, but that's actually up to the NHL. That's not up to the Ottawa Senators. So we'll have to see, if the NHL were to make that decision, but they've called a couple guys up from the AHL. Right now, the number, I think they've got 6 people in COVID-19 protocol. That's 5 players and 1 associate coach. So, I mean, it's not a great situation. It's kind of like every team's worst nightmare, because if one guy gets it, I think with regards to how we know how COVID is transferred, you don't know when that guy got it. And when you catch it, it's like how many other people now have it? It's so terrifying.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I've done my share of what you're doing, but just not as much in the last year and a half. And they're so conscious of keeping you away from the players for this reason. The fans don't see it, right? They just turn on the TV and watch it. But because you were covering the CFL and now you've moved to the NHL with a little CFL, is there a difference in the protocols or are they the same? What have you seen there?
Yeah, great question, Rod. Actually, with regards to the players, because obviously TSN is the rights holder for the CFL, the only time I actually got to see players face to face was on the field when I did the sideline reporting, and occasionally the day before when I did the sit downs, just to get a bit more information. Kind of those are one-on-one interviews with the players. But if, for example, any other media wouldn't get a chance with regards to the Rough Riders to actually do those in-person interviews, which makes it a little frustrating. You don't get to ask them maybe a question just kind of off camera where you're like, hey, like, you know, I saw you're using a new helmet. I mean, you can ask those in front of the camera. But when it comes to the NHL, all the press conferences we've done so far have been in real life. However, we've been distanced from them. There's like not 6 meters. It's about, I'd call it almost 10 meters between, or sorry, not feet, but about, you know, it's a generous amount of space between the players. One game when they were hosting Las Vegas last Thursday, I did rinkside interviews. But again, I was masked. The players weren't. We were for sure 6 feet apart. That's the only time I've done the face-to-face interviews one-on-one with players. We're not allowed in the locker room, but post-game and post-practice, we do them in real life, but they're up on a stage, so they're a little farther away. So I hope that I kind of rambled there, but I just wanted to give you a really good feeling of what it's like. And it is a little different because we do, I think, get a bit more face-to-face contact with the players in the NHL.
Well, I appreciated it. I don't know about everybody else, so thank you. I absolutely did. Now, but the thing is...
I'm happy you like it. I'm happy you like it.
It seems like you're always working, and I just wondered if you've had a chance to visit with anybody in Ottawa and tell me what the vibe of the Sens is, because I think they're getting better, yet they're well below 500. Like, does the city feel they're on the right track?
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, Rod, I feel like I'm never not working. Mm-hmm. And it's been an exciting year. Hopefully I'll get a bit of downtime here when the Sens go on a road trip. But I get the feeling from fans that they're really excited about the corner that the team is turning. You know, are they emerging from the rebuild? I mean, we're only 11 or 12 games into the season here, so it's really hard to tell. Will they push to make a playoff spot? They're probably going to be on the cusp, but I don't think they will. But I do sense a lot of excitement here. But Rod, like, let's just be honest. I've only been here a month, so I don't know what kind of energy this city had, 2 years ago or 7 years ago when they were making the playoffs. So it's hard for me to gauge. I will say this is an engaged fan base. They care so much, and it's really cool because when you come from a place where you cover the Rough Riders and there's an engaged fan base, you always wonder what other fan bases are like. And even with the Red Blacks, like, this city loves its sports, which makes it special to cover here.
They absolutely do. I love it. I love that city so much. Lucky you. From the general in Calgary, watching, says, hey, Claire, are you looking forward to Sunday's Tkachuk Bowl? Flames and Sens on Sunday? Are they talking about it? Are they talking about it?
Yeah. Well, okay. Honestly, it's one game at a time here. So we have not even started talking about it. Of course, I've got it marked on the calendar in notes of like cool stuff that's happening, but we probably won't ask Brady about that until I'm guessing Saturday, because of course tonight they play Boston and then they play New York on Thursday. So we're a little far ahead there, General, in Calgary, but I like the spirit. I love it. And Chantel Tkachuk, Brady and Mathew, of course, his mom, she's been in town, and I actually was just messaging with her before the game on the first game he was captain on Saturday. And she was just saying how proud she was of Brady, that the organization thinks so highly of him. And it was, I don't know, I think those are really special moments for parents. I don't know if she'll be in town for the game on Sunday. I mean, I assume she would. She's got 2 kids playing in the game. Why wouldn't she extend her flight? So yeah, what a cool family moment though. What a cool hockey family.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is, it disappoints me that Brady and Mathew say they'll never fight, only because my favorite fights were with my brothers. I would think you'd want to fight your brother, but they say that will never happen, so fine. That's just the way life is now. So, and I've watched so much sports. I want to say you were on the sidelines for the Red Blacks and Argos on the weekend, were you not? I'm sure I saw you there.
No, I wasn't. And it's because that's when the Senators were playing their game against Tampa Bay. So it was like double booked. They were 2 hours apart. The start time for the Senators was 2 p.m. Start time for the Red Blacks was 4 p.m. I couldn't quite drive there in time. I would have been late, So they had Mathew covering that game, which ended up being such a heater. So I'm a little jealous. I couldn't, clone myself.
I know. Well, hey, they complain in Winnipeg when the Jets and Bombers play at the same time, but not Edmonton, not Ottawa. I don't get it. But what Eastern Stadium did you do sidelines in that I saw?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Somewhere outside of Regina.
Just besides Red Block?
Yeah. Somewhere. Maybe it wasn't on. What stadiums have you done other than Saskatchewan sidelines in the last month?
Okay, I've done Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, Ottawa, and Saskatchewan, of course. So I'm starting to feel, familiar with different fan bases. So I have been to Molson or Percival Molson, and but I've just been as a fan like 10 years ago, and I love the location of that stadium. Holy, so cool! Right downtown in the heart of it, with McGill surrounding you. That one's a pretty neat one. And I mean, where the Red Blacks play in Lansdowne, unreal, because there's all those little bars around. There's the canal. There's Whole Foods right across the street. I'm a big fan. So they've done well with the location.
That's a great thing. This country is beautiful, and you're getting out and seeing it all, and the CFL is wonderful for that. Clara, we'll let you get back to setting up. I hope we can do this again, and I really appreciate you fitting us in.
Rod, thank you so much for having me, and I miss you guys.
We miss you too. Good to see your face. Clara Hanna joining us from the nation's capital from TSN. We'll be right back, and Moose is going to join us for TacoTime. Viewer takeover in overtime. You're watching on Game Plus Television, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special. Holy.
It's pretty impressive.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Capital is Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership. Whether you're on the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle, we got you covered. And when it's time for service work, you can trust our factory-trained technicians who specialize in repairing any make or model. But don't take our word for it. Check out capitalfordlincoln.com to see how we roll and to learn about what other customers are saying about working with us. Your dealership experience should be fun, easy, and transparent. And that's what you get when you choose Capital Ford Lincoln, Regina's trusted Ford Lincoln dealership.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
It is overtime. Proud presentation of the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the National Hockey League and the UFC. I do want to mention for our friends at Aurora Recovery Center in Gimli, addiction, it destroys relationships, families, and lives. But the good news is addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of beautiful Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help, regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center, recovery for life. Go to aurorarecoverycenter.com. I don't know what it is as we welcome Moose DuPont back in here. Something about this new text line, I don't know what it is. Like, I literally can't keep up. And you're getting texts on, like, all night. You handle this thing on off hours. Why is it? Do they like the 902 area code?
Maybe.
For those that just tuned in and weren't watching earlier, I was saying we need a jingle to play. 902-518-3033. Sort of like the WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, my gosh.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's been researching it in the moments that he hasn't been on the air with us. And Moose, could you tell the viewers what you found?
Yeah, we've got some feelers out to a couple of jingle creators, I guess you could say. I've already had some people back and forth, so we're working on the text line jingle. I know somewhere is RP rhymes with 33. So there's something in there. Text RP at 33. Like, it rhymes, right?
I like it.
Sounds like a TacoTime commercial. And speaking of all of that, Dino from Toronto writes in. Hello, Rod. Love your show. Been watching when I first came across it about 5 years ago. In COVID years, how long have we been on the air? 15 years?
Yeah. One COVID year is like 15 years.
That's we've been on Game Plus for a year and a half.
Oh,
anyways,
man. We were only on the air for like 6 or 7 months before COVID.
He says, my question is this. I've been a diehard football fan my whole life since I was 9 years old. I'm 45 now. I love the CFL, NFL, U Sports, NCAA, and try to follow CJFL as much as I can. How do you see the CFL to build more revenue to be more financially stable? We're lucky for a season this year, as I love seeing my beloved Argos live at BMO Field. However, the CFL will need to look for new revenue for long term. The single game betting is a start. You're asking me for additional revenue stream opportunities for the CFL. I'm going to tell you this. There's guys and gals making well into six figures, and that's their job. So I say, good luck. Is that okay? Yeah. I'm not going to spend 1.5 seconds thinking about how the CFL, what they should do to make more money. That's their job. Dino goes on to say, Kerwin Bell spiking the ball in the end zone and hitting his own nuts, then gets pushed over by his own player. The best end zone celebration gone wrong. It never gets old. We were talking earlier about the taunting in the NFL and the big penalty on Cassius Marsh of the Chicago Bears last night, whether it should have been a penalty or not. It morphed into great celebrations and stuff, which reminds me we should put that on the best of the weekend show.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, buddy. Sean in Vancouver writes in at 902-518-3033. NFL equals no fun league. They loosen rules on celebrating but clamp down on taunting. It makes no sense. Ding, 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 ding. That might be the comment of the week for Taco Time. I'm not joking. If you sit there and try and make sense of all this, you're going to go crazy inside your own head because it makes no sense.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Well, I see these officiating supervisors all the time. You've been privy to some of these conversations, and I don't understand what. I'm like, what happened there? We're 1 minute remaining in the RP show. I'm like, what happened with the kicking in the net? What happened there? He's like, oh, you can kick it from outside the crease, but not inside the crease. We made that change last year. I'm like, what the? A lot of times it's just gobbledygook trying to get everybody off the hook. That's what I found.
Yeah.
But I just enjoy the games. I feel like we spent an hour and a half talking about this and didn't accomplish anything today.
We might have accomplished a Taco Time winner, though.
Sean in Vancouver. I think,
that's it.
Right. Well, it's only Tuesday. We've got 3 more days to decide the comment of the week for Taco Time. But go figure, injecting some common sense might win you the gift card from Taco Time. Coming up tomorrow, Jesse Granger from the Athletic Las Vegas will talk about Canada's team, the Golden Knights, and John Paddock from God's team. See you tomorrow, noon Eastern. Jordan has the bladder of a camel.